Okay, this video is going to be about simple 3D objects within GameMaker. There's four simple 3D objects that are in GameMaker. There is the block, which is what you see right here. It's 3D looking, wraps all around. There is a triangle, there is a cylinder, and there's a sphere, which is called something else. It's kind of more elaborate name for it. But the only thing is that these four 3D objects within GameMaker, it's coded simple. I can show you the code, but it's done as a drawn object, meaning that it cannot be solid for some reason. So I can go right through this block, and you can see how it's wrapped around in 3D, even the top and bottom. And I don't know how to make it solid because it's drawn and the code is in the drawn object. I tried to do it as a create and it didn't work. I clicked on the solid. I parented it to the wall object you see around this, because this wall object right here is just it's straight up and down, and it's solid. You know, I've talked about that before. It's just basically a square, flat square, rotated up to make it look like 3D. But this is 3D, but it's drawn, so that means that I cannot make it solid for some reason. I don't know how to do that. So if you're going to mess with these four 3D objects within GameMaker for your fake 3D game, I would suggest to put it as a background. So put the 3D objects behind the wall as a backdrop, and you can, like I said, you could push them together to make them form some kind of building or something. I'll show you that in a minute. But let me show you the code for this block. Alright, in the block, you don't need a sprint. I just call it an object block. Do a draw, then put the coded sheet into action, and then this is the code for it. Var text equals background underscore get underscore texture, and then texture underscore wall 1, which is the texture that I use for the other flat walls. And then this is the magic here that makes the block 3D, and this is all built into GameMaker. D3D, draw block 20, 71, 80, 120, text 44. So this 44 represents basically, it talks about it stretches, or I think it makes the images bigger. So I think it makes the blocks bigger when you make it 1 or 2. Let me see. So all this is wrapped around as you're inside a yard. See how it stretched the brick when I did that? So they're not small anymore because it's not 4, it's 1. So you can mess with that. Another thing is like this one right here. If you change this to 15 or above, it's going to be in the air. Okay, so I put it at 1 because I put it at 0 and it messed up the floor. It kind of flickers back and forth, so I put it at 1. See how it's kind of squished, so it's kind of like stairs in a way. It's kind of like stairs, but so you can mess with the numbers to get it to your liking. So I think it was at 20. So I didn't mess with that. I messed with this. And then these other numbers, they do different things too. Like it stretches it long ways, vertical or horizontal. And you just have to mess with these numbers in order to get it where you want it at in the game. Because this is the question mark for the square. And this is a demo room, so you're right here. You're this white dot down here, and all these are the flat walls rotated upward to make it look 3D. And then this question mark outside the wall is your block that's 3D. And it doesn't matter where you move that question mark, it's going to be in that same. It's going to be in that same spot. So you have to mess with the numbers here in order to get it exactly where you want it at. So that's the block, and then you got the cone here, and it's the same concept, but you do have more of a strand of numbers here. The 32, it just, like I said, that talks about, you just gotta mess with these numbers here. Some of these numbers stretches the image out longer. If you make the numbers smaller, then it makes the images smaller on the object. If you make the numbers bigger, then it stretches the image out. Then you have some of these numbers here that makes it float in the air, and some that make it go sink down into the ground. You have other numbers that make it go forward, other numbers go backwards. So you just got to play around with these numbers to get it to your liking. So let me show you the code here for this one. So I'm just going to go through this real quick. Like I said, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I'm more into the 2D gaming, not 3D gaming. So I'm just going to talk about this briefly, and you can just mess around with those numbers to get it to your liking to make objects in 3D. See, then now you have a sphere there, and see you can go right through it, and you shouldn't have to go through it. I don't know why you go through it, but it happens. So like I said, I would treat it as a background image, and you can widen that cone. You can widen that cone out. You can change the numbers so it looks more like a pyramid, but in this situation it looks more rounded at the bottom. Alright, and I use a different background, of course, there. So I'm just going to throw in all these objects and show you. The ellipsoid is the circle, cylinder. So watch what it looks like. Now I kind of have it pushed together to make some kind of building or something. So see, it looks kind of like a building. The ellipsoid's at the very top, so it looks like kind of like a castle type thing. So like I said, you can move that flat wall in front of all those 3D objects to make it be the background, because like I said, you go right through it. I'm not sure how to make it solid. So, and like I said, you could change the cylinder to make it look more rectangulish with sides instead of making it so curved. And you can add different images to the 3D objects to do different things with it. So, and like I said, you can move that square out of those objects there by messing with those numbers. Like I said, I'm not really familiar with 3D objects, but like I said, just mess with these numbers here, and you can move them forward, move them back, and so forth. Yeah, so each ellipsoid has different numbers here, so just mess with these numbers. Like this one basically talks about how high it is, how low it is, or something. So, and like I said, these numbers here stretch out the image to make the blocks bigger or smaller. So just play around with these numbers so you can get a feel with what it does. I know, like I said, two of these numbers makes it go, or one of these numbers makes it go up. One makes the 3D object go down into the ground, and the other number basically makes the image stretch wider and the other number makes it squeeze together. So I was messing around with these numbers to get it to your liking, and that's pretty much it for this video here. Like I said, I made this Create and put the code in the Create, and I made that solid, and it does not make the 3D object solid. I don't know why, but it doesn't. So like I said, I was just treated as a background image pretty much. I may experiment with these flat walls and try to make another video dealing with maybe I made a triangle wall or octagon wall. Might do something like that, but use these flat objects to make the wall happen. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.